Funny that time of the Good evening. Today is Friday, May 1st, 2026. It's 5 p.m. Welcome to Hatch Valley Public Schools Special Board Meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll go ahead and get started with a roll call. Member Legarreta.
Here.
Member Garay.
Here.
Secretary Montes.
Here.
And myself, Vice President Gonzalez, are present. We do have a quorum. So before we get into item number one, we do need to make a couple of quick, I apologize, I forgot the pledge. Thank you, guys. Could we please stand for the pledge? Second. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect among human cultures. My apologies for that. I think that's the second time I've done that. Before we look at considering the agenda, there are two quick amendments that we need to make. After item number 3, I would like to move that we input public input as another item after item number 3.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to include public input after item number 3. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The other quick motion we need to discuss before we get started is we did have a packet that came in slightly later in the day. We just need to make sure that we are all in agreement that we can accept the packet that was turned in for the candidate for Ms. Dora Chidas. I believe it came in after the close of the business day. We just need to make sure that we're all okay taking that packet.
I'd like to make a motion to approve her.
Seconded. It has been moved and seconded to
Yes.
approve the packet for Ms. Dora Chidas. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So item number 1 now is to consider the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 2.
Uh,
Mr. Secretary, could you read item number 2, please?
yes, to include in the agenda is number 2, approval of budget adjustments, requests, transfers, cash request. To include maintenance bars, 11,000, 13,000, 26,121, 26,204, 27,107, 27,149, 311,00, an increased bar 26,107, and a decreased bar 27,149.
Before I ask for a motion, are there any questions or any discussion about this?
I have nothing.
Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to approve item number 2. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 3, new business. Item number 3A is to consider approval of out-of-state student travel, FFA to Oklahoma.
Mr. President, members of the board, at this time, I would ask the board to consider approval for our FFA land team to be, for their funding to travel to Oklahoma for the national competition. They placed in the top 5 at the state level. And so we just need the board's approval to fund that trip to Oklahoma, which does take place next
Many are going?
5 students,
5 students?
4 students and an adult, excuse
And
me.
an adult.
Yes,
And it's for land?
land,
Land.
yes.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to consider approval of out-of-state student travel, FFA to Oklahoma. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3B, consider approval of bilingual multicultural education application.
So, Mr. President, members of the board, in your packet today is our state bilingual multicultural education program funding application. And honestly, all this really includes is certifying the numbers of students we have involved within our bilingual education program. That is included in your packet for review. And in order to process it for the state, we do require board approval and a signature from the president.
Do we have any discussion on this item?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to consider approval of the bilingual multicultural education application. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion carries. Item 3C, consider approval of the purchase of weight room flooring.
So, Mr. President, members of the board, there is the paperwork in your packets today for the purchase and resurfacing of our weight room flooring, which is, we'd like to get started over the summer. However, the total cost is over $60,000. So we do need board approval to proceed with that as per your policies.
What kind of flooring is that going to be?
So it will be sorry, Mr. President and Ms. Garay, it is a rubberized flooring for the weight room.
Oh, okay.
It's replacement of the carpet that's in there.
Okay.
So no more carpet.
No more
Thank
carpet,
you.
no ma'am.
Good.
So moved.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to consider approval of the purchase of weight room flooring. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Item 3D, consider approval of the fiscal year 2026 auditor contract.
So, Mr. President, members of the board, it is that time of year when the district has to go out to solicitation for a new auditor. We had packets submitted. We did have a review committee to review the submissions, and an auditor was selected. And Mark, do you have, we look at the name of the auditor who was selected?
Cordova?
I don't remember the name.
Yes,
Cordova?
Cordova, yes, so it's Cordova Services, and they would be conducting our audit next year.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to consider approval of the fiscal year 2026 auditor contract. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 4 is the interview of board member candidates, but before we go to item number 4, we just want to make sure that we ask all of our interviewees to step out so that each individual that is being asked the questions will hear them for the first time when we ask them to that person. And my apologies, we need to put in public input.
Very good.
Thank you, Chris. So that would be item number 3. Do we have any public input? You do. Okay, Mr. Mitchell, go ahead.
Thank you, President Gonzalez. I wanted to make a comment on your interviews for your board candidates. My understanding is you have a number of good candidates, and I'd like to tell you you're very fortunate to have a number of good candidates. There has been times in the past where you have to beg people to step up and take a position of responsibility. With that being said, in the last election, you did have a Lupe Castillo ran and lost by about a half a dozen votes. And I'm here to speak on her behalf. I worked with Lupe for a number of years, 2 different stints, over about 15 years. And she was excellent, did a great job for us. She always looked at things through the it's like a multifocal lens. You have to look through the first lens of the kids, the second lens of the parents, and the third lens of the community. And if it still hunts after going through those 3 lenses, then it's probably something you want to consider doing. But I was just here to speak on her behalf. Yeah, she did run and lose by just a few votes. It would kind of seem like a no-brainer that the person that ran in the last election that got the next number of votes in a kind of strange election for our state where it was an at-large election would be considered. So that was what I was here to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, item number 4. And I believe that was the last one, Elsa. Okay, item number 4 is for our beginning of our interview for our board member candidates. So at this time, we would like to ask all of our candidates to please step out. Miss Elsa, if you could show them where they can go to wait while we are interviewing. Then we have our first candidate come up to the mic.
Good evening, school board members.
Good evening, Ruben. It is, I just have to say, it is nice to see someone who is as young as you in high school still doing something like this, just shows your leadership and it's impressive.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to speak up and do this. How do we want to handle this? Do we want to each take a turn asking a question or?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
I can go ahead. So, Mr. Gutierrez, could you help us understand why you want to serve on the school board and what it is that you hope to contribute?
My number one goal would be to benefit students throughout the district. I have firsthand experience in the Hatch Valley Public School System. I have seen where it excels. I have seen some places it lacks and needs help in. And I would want to contribute and better the teaching strategies, the attendance, and any issues students are dealing with that sometimes they are too scared or don't know who to reach out to, despite you guys being open to people coming up here. But I believe that with me in the board, I could possibly have student input as I still don't graduate. I graduate this May, and I have plenty of friends in high school and throughout the public school district.
Thank you.
All right. Just to let you know, there was a youngster that came on the school board for the Gadsden
Mhm.
School District, so you're gonna be the first.
Mhm.
Okay, Mr. Rubin, provide us with your understanding of the role of a school board member and what it entails.
That's a good question. The role for a school board member primarily is to be there for students, to show support to students, parents, and the community. It would be to provide a safe environment where people feel comfortable to come and speak their concerns, and for students to have an enjoyable time in our district, learn, show everybody out that people from Hatch, New Mexico, students from Hatch, New Mexico, have the same chance as anybody else does. So primarily, the role of a school board member would be to help students.
I like that. Thank you.
Okay. How do you separate differences of opinion and work together with other board members after a controversial vote?
That would be done through being mature, through being open-minded, to understanding everybody has their own opinion and their own reasoning behind it. Communication is key, and we must listen to what others think in order to shape our own opinion. That's how opinions get shaped. Opinions get shaped based on facts and others' opinions, and working together helps us get to a common ground.
Okay.
What are the top 3 challenges you believe our school district is facing?
Do you need those in order, or
Just however you feel.
I believe attendance would be one. I believe that exams scores would be one. And I also believe that outreach would also be one.
Can you elaborate on outreach?
I believe that more students should have the knowledge and available to that one-on-one connection with either principal or anybody to help them decide what to do after high school. Sometimes we feel like we're left out And even though that might not be the case, as there are programs, I guess just communicating with students on all the different career paths you could go after high school.
Thank you.
Based on your prior knowledge, what is one immediate opportunity for improvement you would like to bring to the attention of the superintendent and board?
That's a good question. I believe it would be attendance. I have seen how low attendance gets. You can see it in the parking lot if you pass by early in the morning. And just figuring a way to better that issue.
Okay, how do you foresee the district meeting the needs of all student groups, including English learners, special education students, and low-income students?
I see the district meeting all student groups by having people come up to speak, being able to listen to everybody. As a bilingual and English learner myself, I have seen the struggle that some of my peers have with going even to school. Some struggle to get here. Today, I actually talked to this girl who lives in Array and has to drive down early to Garfield just to get the bus. And first and foremost, it would be being able to be spoken to, being able to be reached, being able to communicate back to these concerns.
How will you balance your personal views with the needs and priorities of a broader community?
By being open-minded. If you take in everybody's opinion, if you value their opinion, you get to see and understand the community. And when you understand, you connect yourself to what they are speaking to. And that would be a way. Being open-minded would be the way to communicate and connect to a broader community.
Thank you.
Tell us about a time when you were involved in improving student outcomes, whether in education, business, nonprofit work, or your own community. What specific results were achieved and what role did you play in driving those results?
I would go to Hatch Elementary, and I would help in the library. I would help students. I would read books to students, help students test. And as I kept going, I kept seeing AR prizes increase on Fridays when I had a long line almost out of the library of students who went to go pick up their prize, and just seeing the interest to keep reading, to keep learning, that made me continue to read, continue to go, continue to help.
The board recently discussed a 4-day week. What are your opinions and thoughts on this?
It's a big change for sure. I believe that in a way it could work out. I also believe that some people would struggle to acclimate to a 4-day week. And my opinion would be to stay with the 5-day week, sorry. My opinion would be to stay with the 5-day week, as we have a lot of agriculture going on around. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that also means that our summers would be shortened.
No, it'd
They wouldn't be shortened, they would be the same.
be the same.
I don't know, maybe a 4-day week would work out then. If the summers are the same length, I mean, I would have to know more about this 4-day week to be able to give you my final decision. But I think it could go either way. I believe it would work out if summers are still the same length and families can still work, students can still work to help some families out, those that need help, actually. And I believe it could work out if that's the scenario.
Thank you so much, Ruben. That is it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you.
We have minutes. I'll send them to bring in next.
Boy. This is Stevie. How you
Good
doing?
evening, good evening. Welcome, Mr. Bowie. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We have 9 questions. We're just gonna go around and each ask you a question. Okay? To help us understand why you want to serve on the school board and what it is that you hope to contribute.
Just another advocate for the students and the community. There've been a lot of issues, I guess, recently. The people have contemplated the decisions that have been made, and just want to be another advocate for the kids and for the community. So just to help out, see if we can comfort the people and console them and let them know that everything's good and well at the school system.
Okay. Provide us with your understanding of the role of a school board member and what it entails.
The role of a school board member is basically we're here to adhere to state policy, to do policy for the school, work on budgets, and listen to the students and to the staff to see what they're needing. But as a board member ourselves, we can't control anything, basically. You know, it's a group effort, a team, so not one person can make decisions for everybody. So as a board member, it's basically you're a advocate or a voice for everybody.
How do you separate differences of opinion and work together with other board members after a controversial vote?
Well, we all have differences of opinion. Nobody's going to be in agreement. I don't know if almost all of us are married anyway, so everything is a compromise. So that's the way I see it. You have to make decisions for the good of the students and the district. You can't make it personal. You know, the decisions and the choices that you make need to be for the good of everybody. So any controversies that you have, you need to settle them or leave them at the door. You know, your opinion is your own, but you need to consider everybody else's opinions also.
What are the top 3 challenges you believe our school district is facing?
I think one of the issues that it came up was the days of the week, that they wanted to go to 4 days. When I think that was one of the big votes. There was quite a bit split decision on a lot of the community members that I'd spoken to. And then the other thing is we're falling behind, it seems like, not just in the Hatch, but New Mexico, in our kids they're dependent on computers and electronics. And I think we're falling behind in the writing and reading and the regular skills, the math skills. I think those are some of the issues that we need to focus on because I can say from experience, my son, if they don't have electronics, they don't keep the attention span. You know, it's hard to do stuff with them if you don't have some kind of electronic thing, or if they can't see it on TikTok, if they can't see it on Instagram or something, they can't figure it out. And I think they're losing the skills needed to survive in life, so that's one of the main things I say that I think we need to be more focused, hands-on with our students. And I think that's one of the biggest issues is we're losing that education part of the kids. They're too reliant on electronics.
So you want to bring back the blackboards?
Not necessarily the blackboards, but I mean, teach them how to write, I've seen some of these kids, they can't even sign their name, it's, you have them sign something, I worked at a chili plant and, you had to have them sign in, when they get their checks and stuff. And some of them, they can't write their name out, they can't even do their signature, they write it out. So, little things like that, I think it's a big deal.
Based on your prior knowledge, what is one immediate opportunity for improvement you would like to bring to the attention of the superintendent and the board?
I think just, it seems like the community gets involved only when there's a important issue. And I think we need not everybody has the social media and stuff. I think the go-between, I think we need to have another way that we can get a hold of the community, because the Facebook and the Instagram doesn't work for everybody. I think there's a lot and people don't hear about things until it's big, and it shouldn't be that way, where everybody should be involved and they should have that communication between the board and the community. I think that's one of the main issues that I think we're missing.
Okay. How do you foresee the district meeting the needs of all student groups, including English learners, special education students, and low-income students?
So from what I've seen, I haven't heard any complaints. I've heard the special needs kids really, really get a lot. The low income, I don't know. I think we're all low income, so how can you break that apart from the regular kids? To me, it's hard to tell who's low income. I think because our community is so low income, I think it's pretty much everybody. So to me, I think we're getting to everybody, because you see the kids and you go to the schools and everybody's happy. They look fed, and they're involved in everything. So I think we're doing a good job with that.
How will you balance your personal views with the needs and priorities of the broader community?
I think what'll help is I've had prior experience working with companies that employ a lot of people, and then prior experience being on the board. You have to learn to multitask and be able to put the view of everybody's, consolidate them into one, something that everybody can agree on. I know it's hard sometimes, but we all need to set our own personal agendas aside and do for the better good of the community and the students. That's the whole thing that we're here for, is the staff and the students. We need to work together and work to build up that everything works for them.
Tell us about a time when you were involved in improving student outcomes, whether in education, business, nonprofit work, or your own community. What specific results were achieved, and what role did you play in driving those results?
I've worn a lot of hats in this community in different times, whether being with the volunteer fire department, working with the police department, the church, or the businesses that I work for. I've worked for different farmers, different companies. I was the manager for Young Guns for a long time. So I've reached out. We've always had people coming in and helping us. We've had a lot of volunteer work that people come in you know, that some of the mothers of the kids, they can't work because they're not old enough. So we, you know, we've had where they've come in and we've taken care of them, you know, while their parents are working, you know. Different things with the fire department where we've had the little outreach programs where they come and join and see, you know, they can't be members, but they can come and see what they do, you know, different programs like that that have helped just to give a broader a view of the kids so they can see that there's other stuff rather than picking chili and topping onions. You know, there's other avenues, there's other careers that they can look for that come back to this community, you know. So there's other things. We don't want all the kids to go out and be farm workers, you know. We want them to get an education, to stay in school, to give them something to work for so they can get out of here, you know. It used to be where the families would come in and everybody would work here, grow up here, then they'd have a family and they'd stay here and work here. You know, it doesn't happen like that anymore. We want them to be able to get an education, to go out and get the good jobs, you know, leave the valley.
The board recently discussed the 4-day week. What are your opinions and thoughts on this?
It's been from what I've heard from most of the input of a lot of the people and parents. Of course, my wife's a teacher, so we have a lot of teacher friends and stuff. It's not been very positive. And part of the fact is because we are a small community, we're very rural, and a lot of the people work on the farms, work in the agricultural environment where they're either part of in the fields themselves, or they're working in the factories, or they're working in the plants, or they work for it. So the issue that most people have is what would they do with their students for the day? You know, the daycares that we have, there's not enough, there's not sufficient. They can't handle all the other kids. And that was the main issue. I think everybody was for it, where, especially the kids, they're like, yeah, 4 days a week. We'd only come to 4 days. But at the parents' issue is, what do we do with our kids for that day? You know, where do they go? You know, they still have to work. They still have to support them. They know who's going to feed them, stuff like that. That was been the main issue that everybody had is, what are we going to do with our kids? You know, so it was, I think there was pros and cons. The kids wanted it. The parents didn't. So I wasn't for it.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Brule.
I have a question. What happens with the two that didn't show up?
We have 2 that didn't show up.
Yeah,
I believe that Ms. Salsa had scheduled them, Ms. Garay, so they should be here by the time their time's up.
oh, okay. So they have shown up. They are here.
I will go verify.
When did they get signed different?
Good evening, Mrs. Castillo. Welcome. Thank you for applying.
Thank you.
We have 9 questions. We're just gonna go around the room and take turns asking you questions, okay? Question number 1, could you help us understand why you want to serve on the school board and what it is that you hope to contribute?
Number one, the kids, the students, that's always the number one priority for me.
Okay. Provide us with your understanding of the role of a school board member and what it entails.
As a school board member, your priority is the kids. You work from trying to get funds to sports to community outreach, parent outreach. A big role is the funding and making sure the funding is there for the children, for the students.
How do you separate differences of opinion and work together with other board members after a controversial vote?
I mean, you have to agree to disagree. And at the end of the day, again, it doesn't matter what we think of each other, we're here for the kids. And it's okay to have differences, it's part of it.
What are the top three challenges you believe our school district is facing?
I think always funding is a big issue. And right now, safety is anywhere, safety of the children, of staff. I say children, but it's, the schools. And trying to bring community and parents together to be there. 'Cause it's not just about my kid, it's about every student that comes to the school.
Based on your prior knowledge, what is one immediate opportunity for improvement you would like to bring to the attention of the superintendent and board?
I think the safety of our children. I think we're doing better. We have to be on top of it all the time. It's an unfortunate situation, but it is what it is right now. It's our world right now.
How do you foresee the district meeting the needs of all student groups, including English learners, special education students, and low-income students?
How meeting their needs, it's back to the funding and working with the community, working with the teachers. It takes a village to raise a kid, but our priority is the student, is the kids of the school. So we all have to work together, putting our differences aside or just do what's best for the children, for the students.
How will you balance your personal views with the needs and priorities of our broader community?
Just learning to agree to disagree. It's just, my views are not going to be the same as other parents or the teachers or a board member. But at the end of the day, you just walk out knowing that you did the best for the kid, for the kids, for the students, or the district, just depending on the situation.
Tell us about a time when you were involved in improving student outcomes, whether in education, business, nonprofit work, or your own community. What specific results were achieved, and what role did you play in driving those results?
I think my priority before anything, I'm a mom first. So as parents, we get together and, fundraising or sports, depending on the sport that's going on at the time. But as a board member, there was so much we did, especially during COVID. That was a very trying time. But I think we did the best for the kids. Even it wasn't just trying, but there was a lot of political situations at the time. But even from just putting books or the Chromebooks or supplies, we did the roofs, public PAs, there's so much that we did while I was a board member. But as a mom, you put your kids first, and whatever type of funding, whatever other kid you can help.
The board recently discussed the 4-day week. What are your opinions and thoughts on this?
I think 4-day weeks are really hard in our community because of our agricultural community. A lot of our kids work the fields, a lot of parents work the fields, and it would be hard for them to get babysitting or daycare, whatever the situation is. I'm not for it. I think it would be hard here. Busing kids, we have kids coming down from Deming, almost Deming at the line. I think it would be hard for that to work here in our community.
Thank you, Ms. Castillo.
Thank you.
So Ms. Godoy, we had given everybody about 20 to 25 minutes, so the last applicant has been notified to get here early, so they should be on their way.
Okay.
Yes. We scheduled a little more time. You're going faster than we thought you'd go.
Yeah. So Debbie's on her way?
She's here.
Oh, she's here.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, Tyson's on his way.
Okay.
okay.
Getting a hold of him.
Oh, Ms. Debbie.
Hello.
How are you all?
Good
today?
evening, Miss Debbie. Been a long time.
Good.
Oh, good to see everyone.
Nice to see
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for applying. We appreciate it. Miss Debbie, we have 9 questions. We're gonna go around the room, each ask you a question.
Okay,
Could you help us understand why you want to serve on the school board and what it is that you hope to contribute?
well, I am interested in serving because I really like to serve my community. And I feel like this is one way that I can be within the community and serve the community. I know a lot of parents, and I feel like I do have something to contribute to them.
Okay. Provide us with your understanding of the role of a school board member and what it entails.
So to my understanding, a school board is the governing body of the school district. They are involved in decisions such as financial matters and things pertaining to the school. They are not involved in any type of staff or anything like that related issues. They're just the kind of, in a way, I guess, the governing body of the school.
Okay. How do you separate differences of opinion and work together with other board members after a controversial vote?
So for me, I try not to be political. I'm not a political person. I'm a lifelong learner. My way of figuring out things is I research, I look for facts, and then I base my opinion off of that fact. I'm very aware of that. People have different opinions. Everyone has a right to their own opinion. And we may not agree, we may not have the same opinion, but we are able to talk about it and work out something together. And that's how I would approach it.
What are the top 3 challenges you believe our school district is facing?
I think probably top 3 challenges. I think probably one would be making sure that our students and families have everything they need. I think that parents are basically want their child to do well in school, and they want the school to be a safe place. And I think they have sometimes a hard time expressing that feeling. So I think that's one of the things is that top 3 challenges. So I think one of the challenges would be, to include parents and everyone into to discussions. Another thing that I think is a challenge is trying to procure or to get funding for things that we may need or the kids may need. That might be another one. Can't really think of anything else. I think that's.
Based on your prior knowledge, what is one immediate opportunity for improvement you would like to bring to the attention of the superintendent and board?
Immediate need of improvement. I don't think that, I think just being inclusive and making sure that all people are heard if we have a concern or issue or whatever. And then trying to work with everyone and including everyone on that process.
Okay, how do you foresee the district meeting the needs of all student groups, including English learners, special education students, and low-income students?
So my experience lies in teaching for 30 years, and most of those years I have worked with special ed kids, and I was a bilingual teacher for many years also. So I think just one way is getting them involved and getting them to not be, I think sometimes parents can be like put off. They don't have the competence they need to come in and say, hey, this is what I need for my kid, or they're afraid that, oh, well, I can't ask for that. That's been my experience. I would have special ed parents that, they would say, well, I need this for my child, but no, I don't think we're going to be able to get that, or we're not going to be able to do that. Instead of really just saying, okay, well, can you help me with this? I think they just kind of are. My experience is that they have been, kind of afraid to ask for the things they need. So I think that's one thing.
Okay. How will you balance your personal views with the needs and priorities of a broader community?
So like I said before, I tend to be very open-minded, and I like to learn about things before I make a judgment. So I think, and like I said before, I feel that we all have opinions, and our opinions are different. And it's not always just one way. There might be a better way. And it's our job to find out, to do that search and to find out what would be better. So I think I could very easily put my personal opinions aside and hear what other people have to say.
Tell us about a time when you were involved in improving student outcomes, whether in education, business, nonprofit work, or your own community. What specific results were achieved, and what role did you play in driving those results?
So being a retired teacher, I was involved in student outcomes all the time. And I was always, trying to do my best to make sure my class did and performed well. Of course, that's the way it is nowadays. A long time ago, it wasn't like that, but now it's all about performance, right? And so, yeah, as a teacher and as a community member or a parent, you have to try multiple things. You have to figure out, what can I do to help this child? What can I do to help this person so that they can be successful and performance will be better? Unfortunately, that's the way education is nowadays, and long time ago, I can remember when I first started teaching, yeah, it was okay to have a play every year. Nowadays, yeah, it's different. That's not in the books, right? So I think that, yeah, just trying to do your best to figure out what kids need and how they can accomplish that goal, what their goals are, and helping them what they need to accomplish their goal.
The board recently discussed the 4-day week. What are your opinions or thoughts on this?
So I think I really don't have an opinion at this time because I really don't know the facts surrounding it. I know when I was teaching that that was something that I was interested in learning about simply because of attendance. Attendance sometimes played a huge role in those types of decisions. So I really, I would really like to have more facts about that and find out, what do the parents think? What is best for our community concerning that issue? Because yeah, we want to make a good decision based on what the needs of our community is.
Thank you so much, Mrs.
You're
Cordero.
welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Debbie.
So, Mr. President, members of the board, I just checked with Elsa and Tyson Adams had the wrong date written down. And so he has offered to join via Zoom. But he is not here in person. You all, as a board, would have to accept that.
I am personally okay with it if the rest of you are.
Did he not get a letter?
So Ms. Ramirez called every one of the candidates individually.
And they knew it was tonight.
Ms. Elsa, correct? You called each one individually? Yes.
What time was he scheduled for?
6:30.
Yeah, if you called him, you took the time to call him, I say no.
I don't have any preference either way. I mean, if it works, Zoom's fine.
Yeah, it's fine with me. Zoom is fine with me as well.
I'm okay with Zoom.
So Mr. Andrew, are we able to accommodate that? Yes.
Yes, I'll be able to accommodate that. Just give me a few minutes to send the Zoom link over and we'll get him in the meeting as after the next.
Mr. Gonzalez, do you want to vote on that just to make it official?
Yeah, do I have a motion to go ahead and accept our next interview via Zoom?
So move.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to accept our next interview via Zoom. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say aye.
No,
No, thank you. Motion carries 3-1.
Mr. Andrew, will that take you a while? Should we move on to the next candidate and then come back to him?
Yes.
Does that
Okay.
work for you? Yes.
you'll have to make sure he does.
I will, yeah, I'll keep him, he'll come into the invite area. I won't bring him in until after the other one
Okay.
is complete.
Good evening, Mrs. Chavez. Thank you for applying and thank you for being with us tonight.
Good
We
afternoon.
have 9 questions. We're just gonna go around and ask you each of them. You have a copy on your desk, okay?
Okay.
Could you help us understand why you want to serve on the school board and what it is that you hope to contribute?
Okay, as a community member and as a parent, I'm deeply invested in the success of our students and of our district. And I feel like I can help strengthen the connection between the parents and the board.
Okay, provide us with your understanding of the role of a school board member and what it entails.
The board has a big responsibility in connection and with the superintendent. I feel it is the role of the members to feel to help students feel that they are connected and have the emotional and academic success that they need to be prepared for the college life and careers.
Okay, how do you separate differences of opinion and work together with other board members after a controversial vote?
By acting calm and listening to all sides of the conflict, and even if I am in disagreements, I would go with what the majority believes is the best for students or for a decision that needs to be made.
What are the top 3 challenges you believe our school district is facing?
Like I said, the connection with the families and them not being or them feeling that they don't have that connection with the board and that their opinion is being taken into consideration. Students, another challenge would be that students don't feel, or some students don't feel connected or supported. And this being to our community not offering enough healthy programs for them in order for them to be able to make wise decisions. And another challenge would be, like I said, their academic levels, students not being prepared for the college life after high school.
Based on your prior knowledge, what is one immediate opportunity for improvement you would like to bring to the attention of the superintendent and school board?
Being a parent that has been attending the board meetings for almost 4 years now, every month, I feel that, like I said, that connection between the families is not there. So that would be an opportunity for me to strengthen that connection with the families and know that their voices are being heard and they are being taken into consideration for decisions and for their students, for their children.
Okay, how do you foresee the district meeting the needs of all student groups, including English learners, special education students, and low-income students?
I believe that the district needs to update and review policy, especially for the district leaders, our principals, in order for them to and be more supported so that they can provide more material or more opportunities for our children's academic success.
How do you balance your personal views with the needs and priorities of the broader community?
By taking everyone's opinions and points of view, and by taking in consideration facts before making a decision.
Tell us about a time when you were involved in improving student outcomes, whether in education, business, nonprofit work, or your own community. What specific results were achieved, and what role did you play in driving those results?
I don't have any educational experience like with students, but I do have a lot of experience in the community, in my church specifically, with students and catechism and just in the church in general. So I do work with our children in the parish, and but I'm willing to learn about education and what we need to in order to help our children succeed academically.
The board recently discussed the 4-day week. What are your opinions and thoughts on this?
I was neither in favor or against the 4-day week. I was for whatever was best for the students based on facts. And we didn't really have much information. So I'm still I would still go with whatever is best for the students based on facts and research or other districts' experience with the 4-day week.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Chavez. We appreciate
Second,
it.
withdraw.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, President Gonzalez, board members, superintendent, we have sent the link out to Tyson, so I'm going to admit him right now.
Okay.
Have speaker on and everything.
Adams, are you?
Talk.
Yeah, can you guys hear us?
We can.
All right.
Okay, we have 9 questions. We're gonna go ahead and ask you the 9 questions.
Oh.
Unfortunately, you don't have a copy in front of you. The other individuals did, but if you need one repeated, simply ask and we can repeat.
Okay.
Could you help us understand why you want to serve on the school board and what it is that you hope to contribute?
Well, so I've got 3 kids in school right now, and right now I'm serving on the Southern New Mexico Fair Board, and I've got experience on the Doñana County Fair Board. Also, I served on the Hatch Green Chili Board. So I have experience with board meetings, and I just want to. Right now, I'm really happy with how the school's going. And I thought I could just join the team and help out where needed.
Hey, Tyson, provide us with your understanding of the role of a school board member and what it entails.
So the role of the school board, my opinion, entails just keeping up with the flow of the school, trying to keep it running smoothly, and can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Just trying to make the right decisions for the community to keep. I believe in a community-based school, and that's kind of where I'm at there.
Okay. Next one. How do you separate differences of opinion and work together with other board members after a controversial vote?
Well, I think the education system as a whole is not something you put in a box. So I think you got to be really open-minded and look at other people's opinions and views and just balance it out. And ultimately vote in the way I think it should go.
What are the top 3 challenges you believe our school district is facing?
I think there's a little bit of a division within the school system as far as just being on track on are we teaching these kids how to test, or are we trying to teach these kids life skills and things they're going to use moving forward?
Based on your prior knowledge, what is one immediate opportunity for improvement you would like to bring to the attention of the superintendent and board?
I would like to expand our like BOTEC side of things. Work more towards kind of like tech jobs, plumbing, electrical, veterinarian, and I know they're doing a lot of that right now, and I think that's great.
Okay, how do you foresee the district meeting the needs of all student groups, including English learners, special education students, and low-income students?
That goes back to my thoughts on the education system, and as a whole, I think we've got kind of a square as a learning, or I think we need to focus more teachers on the students' needs and the way they learn and excel, and not try to do a one size fits all for all these kids.
Okay. How will you balance your personal views with the needs and priorities of the broader community?
Well, I think I have a pretty good grip on the needs of the community. I spend a lot of time with people in the community, and I'm just a very open-minded person, and um, really want to push for what's right for the whole community.
Tell us about a time when you were involved in improving student outcomes, whether in education, business, nonprofit work, or your own community. What specific results were achieved, and what role did you play in driving those results?
Well, I've been really involved in 4-H and FFA, and I've got to do help kids with their animals, and I've helped kids on their feeding and getting them to the fair, and um, we've had pretty good. I've seen some good results there, starting working with kids in 4-H and FFA.
The board recently discussed the 4-day week. What are your opinions and thoughts on this?
I'm neutral on the 4-day week. It in my position, it really doesn't affect me one way or the other. I would say that that's needs to be more of a community decision, because I do know that the 4-day week would negatively affect some of the people that I work with. And then I also know there's a lot of families in the valley that do extracurricular activities that it would probably benefit. So I guess I sit kind of neutral on that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Adams. We appreciate your time.
Uh-huh. Thank you, guys.
At this time, um, I'd like to discuss going into executive session. We'd like to go into executive session in accordance with section 1015-2 NMSA 1978 of the Open Meetings Act, to discuss limited personnel regarding candidate interviews. No action will be taken until the board returns to open session. Do I have a motion
So
to?
moved.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to go into executive session. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion unanimously carries. We are now in executive session.
Let's try.
Good evening. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to return to open meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to return to open meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye. Motion carries. We're now in open meeting. While in executive session, we discussed limited personnel regarding the candidate interviews. No action was taken while we were in executive session. At this moment, I would like to entertain any possible motions.
Yes, we have decided not to select a member this evening. We will be forwarding it to the Secretary of Ed to make that final decision. The four candidates that will be going to the Secretary of Ed are Ruben Gutierrez, Debbie Cordero, Dora Chaires, and Lupe Castillo.
I second that motion. So it has been moved and seconded to select those four candidates to the Secretary of Education for a final decision. I'll go ahead and take a roll call vote. Please say yes if you're in agreement or no if you are not. Member Legarreta,
Yes.
Member Garay,
Yes.
Secretary Montes,
Aye.
and myself is a yes. Motion carries. We will be forwarding those four candidates to the Secretary of Education for a final decision. Item number 7 is adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We are